Welcome to another edition of the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. I'm John Schmelk, joined by Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. Tyrone, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. Obviously during the week of practice, just trying to just bang out these days and, obviously get ready for the next game.
How have you guys kept spirits high? Because, I was in the locker room the last couple days. You wouldn't think this team's record is 2-12 if you're walking through the locker room on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it comes with confidence. We have confidence in our players and our coaches. And then secondly, we have to understand that, it's the NFL. Like, one is the wins are hard to come by, but you also have to look yourself in the mirror and understand that, your wins and losses doesn't really define you as a person, as a team. So, and we understand that. So, like I said, we can't walk around moping because that's really not going to help anything. So we try to keep the energy high, keep the positivity throughout the locker room, throughout practice, throughout the meetings, and just understand that we got to go out there and execute on game day.
Take us to the 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was my first time obviously scoring 2 touchdowns in the game. So
take us to the 2 plays. How'd you do it?
The first one, obviously it's a run. I saw a lane. It was kind of like I don't know if you remember the one I had, Broncos.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that one. Obviously, Broncos a little more clean. That one was clean. It was just me versus
the Bronco one. That's when they were really overloaded on one side, right? And you cut back on there.
Yeah. I'm saying it was the same, basically the same play, same type of play. But the safety came down on this one. Obviously make a miss. Made a move on Louisville, I believe, and then obviously getting there, had a little extra push, a little help, on a tush push just to get in the zone. Then on the second one, we knew that Bobby Wagner was going to have me man. So it was basically like, hey, go win your one-on-one. I told Jackson during practice, like, bro, like, if you see this, you see him guard me, you just throw it up, man. I got you. I'm not gonna promise you it's gonna be a catch, but 90% is gonna be a catch, but it won't be an interception. I promise you that.
How much meat is still left on the bone in terms of how they can use you as a receiver out of the backfield? That maybe you haven't seen them used completely yet.
Yeah, a lot. To be honest, like you said, they haven't really got dug into that, So I think that comes with time. I think that comes with obviously trust.
Sure.
That comes with, showing them that I can do that stuff. So hopefully that was a little glimpse of some of the stuff I could do in the past game. And then also, like, in the game, me personally, I have to take advantage when the opportunity comes,
Mm-hmm.
When the ball comes my way, I got to make those plays. So, I think, it's really the tip of the iceberg when you talk about the receiving game.
I'm not sure if maybe you did this in the bye week, maybe you haven't yet. If you take a 20,000-foot view of your sophomore season, how would you evaluate or think about it? How are you thinking about how you're playing this year? Just how do you look at your year in general?
Yeah, I think I'm playing well, to be honest, just off of injury, towards the end of the year, getting back to work, coming in obviously at a different role with Scat and me, trying to figure that out, and then hopping back on the horse, when I'm getting more touches. Like I said, I think I'm playing well. I think I'm doing my job and executing at a high level when the opportunities do come. So, just looking at it overall, like I said, I think as the season has progressed, I think my game has progressed as well.
I don't remember which game it was. It was a few games after you came back from the shoulder injury. I feel like you lifted your physicality level a little bit. Like, you were running over guys. You were really grinding out some extra few yards. Did you have a mentality shift or change? Was it a health thing where you just felt more confident with the shoulder that you banged up? Mm-hmm. Where you felt like you've gotten a little bit more physicality to you as the season's gone along a little bit?
I always run like that. Even last year, I felt like I ran like that. It was, like I said, I think it's more so just me getting comfortable.
Got it.
Like I said, yeah, I definitely had the injury, and that was, I was just, trying to baby, I guess, at the beginning, just because, like, I didn't want to re-injure it.
Of course.
So
I would do the same thing. I get it.
I didn't want to re-injure it, so I was definitely babying a little bit. But after getting more comfortable, obviously practices and you get a couple games under you, you get tackled, you got these different blocks that you got to take on, because it's hard to replicate a game in practice. It's hard to do that. Obviously, like, before you get clear, you have to do some things so that the training staff feel comfortable seeing you out there. But it's hard to replicate getting tackled in certain positions or landing on your shoulder or just blocking with your shoulder. It's hard to do that stuff in practice. So, like, after I had those game reps, and just, like, obviously trust in my head and within my shoulder, yeah, some of the physicality definitely came back.
Yeah, I think you looked a lot like you did as a rookie, to be totally honest with you. Do you think you took a jump from your rookie year to your sophomore year, or was it more small, incremental progress in a bunch of different areas?
I think I took a jump,
Where?
from, I would say, like, mentally.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, I think that, like I said, if I had a full season, from start to finish, just being healthy and just being who I am, I
Of
think
course.
that, the numbers would say the same, but, obviously, a lot of stuff happened throughout the year. You got
Adabu played really well, that sort of stuff.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I was say you gotta understand that, like, football is football. Like, people ask me about, the scat situation and everything, but, man, dude's balling. He want me to ball, I want him to ball. Like,
You can only control what you can control, you know?
but at the same time, like, I want him to play well.
Of
Like,
course.
I want him to want me to play well. Like, whoever's in there, I want both of us. I think it's enough touches for both of us to go out there and have really good games every single
And
game.
you guys want to win games, first and foremost.
Exactly. And I think that at the end of the day, I think my mental, my football IQ, the game has slowed down a lot. I think that, just the way that I see the game, when I'm playing, how I see the holes, like, I'm being more patient and understanding, like, where my blocks are coming from. Again, this is all just, like, football talk, football IQ. So I think that's, like, my biggest jump from, rookie to now.
Huddle up, get in here. If you're lined up here, you gotta go over the middle with it to score.
Right. How do we make that happen?
I don't know.
But Citizens does.
Make sense of your money with Citizens, official bank of Eli Manning.
When you spoke to the media in the week, you made the point that you think you run better the more touches you get.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why you think that is, and if it has something to do with what you gave in your last answer, talking about how you start seeing things more and you get more comfortable within a game in terms of how they're trying to kind of go
Yeah.
the run a little bit.
I would say it's like chess. For those of you who play chess, you understand that, like, it's a strategic game. Like,
Mhm.
your first move is never going to be your last move. So, we may do a run 3 times, but, like, the run may be 3 different ways.
Of course.
My first move that I do on you is going to be different than, my third move that I do. So, that's why I say, like, the more touches I get, because now it's kind of like a puppet. Like, you're making them do what you want to do. And towards the end of the game, I would say this last game, if you ever watched some of my runs, it was like I was, like, manipulating the defense to do what I wanted it to do so that I can get,
You want to move the linebacker to a different hole, right?
Yeah, right. Just so, again, that's why I say I play better the more touches I get. But I also feel like that's any running back.
Sure.
Because, like I said, you're never going to come out and first play, like, it's going to be, a 60-yard bomb down the field unless, like, the defense messed up or something like that. Like, you got to understand there's going to be some runs that's going to be 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. And then down in the fourth quarter, third quarter, like that, those are when, the 10 plus and the 12 plus, like, those are when those type of plays come out.
No, that makes sense. You talked earlier in the week, too, about how you pointed out 3 specific coaches. You talked about Tim Kelly, Carmen Brasillo, and Liddell Betts as 3 coaches that you think have really helped you, but I think the way you talked about it helped the run game as a whole. Talk about how those coaches, you can take them as a group or even individual if you want, how they've contributed to the run game that's allowed you and your group to have success.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is that they're very detailed on their work and how they do things. Like, individually, I think each and every one of them are really good coaches, but together, the way they work, the way they really just put in a game plan. Like, it's never, the same play. It might look the same to, the viewers, but it's very detailed, down to the front, down to, where the defense is going to be lined up, where the linebackers, who's getting who, the fits, and where the running back should hit it. And then, like, again, like, LB, he's a running back coach, we'll be in there, he'll tell us, like, hey, this play is going to hit here. If you have this guy over the tackle's going to do this, and this is where it should be. So, like, pre-snap, when you're going out there, you should have an understanding of what's going to happen before the ball even snapped, just based off of the knowledge that the coaches are giving you throughout the week.
And the formation on the defense.
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes. And that's what I'm saying. Formation on the defense, like, prior to even getting out there into the game, the coaching staff is doing their due diligence and making sure that they're giving you the right information so that you can go out there and perform at a high level. I think that that's key to the run game, especially when you're talking about, getting 5-6 yards of carry. You're making everything efficient as it can be. Like I said, I think they do a really good job. Carm, he does a 30-minute presentation, like, every day on run game, short yardage, like ball security, everything. So I think they work really well together, just to make sure that we have an efficient run game.
For running back, how valuable was it to have the same 5 starting offensive linemen back for a second year where you can build on the momentum and the rhythm and the feel you developed with them last year and not have to develop that from scratch in a second season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge, man. It's huge because as a running back, you got to get a feel for your offensive lineman. Um, Everybody is not, a bulldozer. Every offensive lineman is not a bulldozer. So you have to understand, who you have in front of you, who's blocking for you, and the type of lineman that you have. So for me to come back and already know that, I don't have to figure that out. Like that was big for me. They know the type of runner I am as well, because every running back doesn't run the same. Some running backs are straightforward, straight ahead. Some are slashers. Some make moves. Some are patient. Like a lot of things has to go together and flow for the offensive line and the running back to have that camaraderie and relationship within the run game. So like you said, I mean, I think it was huge. I know hopefully the offensive line think that it was huge that, I could come.
No, they do. They do.
So like I said, I want to give praise to the offensive line because they do a great job each and every week, creating seams for me to run through. And I think that it's paramount when you're going back watching the film and you actually see what's going on. You actually see like the offensive line doing their job at a high level.
And you guys run every run scheme imaginable. You guys do everything.
Yeah.
Is there something that you like the best? That you think is really like customized? This is like what Tyrone Tracy's really good at?
Yeah, I like counters, personally, like counters. So like
No gap scheme stuff.
Yeah, gap scheme. Any puller, 1 puller, 2 puller, like, it really don't matter to me. But just because like one, it's it gets a flow of the defense. And 2, it opens up seams as well. And same thing, I like to run outside zone, but from the gun. Look, I did it in college. That was what we ran in college. And I also think that I get the ball faster. I can, like I said, see different things after I get the ball, because like when you're under center, it takes you a little bit longer to get the ball. So I like those two concepts.
It's funny. That's going to make Tiki Barber very happy. I do the pre and post game with them. And I was also going to be happy when you did your meteor in the week, you called yourself a slasher.
Yeah.
That's what he calls you. And when Scott got hurt and you moved in, he goes, I want to see him do a lot more gap scheme stuff, because I feel like that's what's going to be his strength. Right. So I think funny that you guys are right on the same page on that. It's funny you mentioned a lot of running backs like being under center rather than gun. Do you like being out of the gun just for the outside zone, or does it depend on the scheme, whether under center or shotgun, and maybe why do you like one or the other based on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like it just because I get the ball faster. And when you have the ball, you can make moves. And like I said, every running concept is not going to be perfect. So a defensive lineman might break through and be 2 yards in the backfield. But if I'm in gun, I can see that and react right now. But if I'm under center, I have to wait till the quarterback give me the ball to even make a move.
Sure.
So that's really the only reason I like gun a little bit more than under center. And then other concepts that I don't really prefer either or, but if I had a choice, I would definitely choose under center if we was, like you said, gap scheme, just because again, like the defense don't know which way you're going.
You can create better angles that way, right?
Yes. That was my next point. You get better angles.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you.
No, you're all good. You're all good. You know ball, man. You know ball. So like I say, you get better angles. So, if I'm going to the A gap, we run to the right. I'm going to the right A gap. The middle linebacker, Mike linebacker, he has a choice to make. Am I going to run over top, or am I going to sit right here in the middle? Because if you run over top, I'm going to just keep running straight to the A gap. Now, if you stay in the A gap, I'm following my puller to the right. So like I said, it's different schemes that will work, a little bit better from under center or, in the gun.
If you want to know how to manage 2 minutes of crunch time football, I'm your man. But if you're wondering about a long-term financial plan, you should talk to Citizens. Hey, I can also talk lawn care.
I'd like to learn about a mowing routine.
Yes, I knew I could help. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
What's been Dart's impact on the run game? Just kind of the extra juice he gives with the legs. You haven't done as much read options since he came back from concussion and stuff like that, but just his athleticism, what he brings, how has that impacted the run game, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's tremendous, man. To be honest, if you watch the games, they have to account for his legs. If they don't, he's going to make them pay, whether it's pass or run, sure, regardless. And like I said, when he's in the game and when he's doing what he needs to do, which is affecting the defense, they have to respect them. I mean, for me, that takes one less guy off my plate, because if the DN is respecting the quarterback, he's not coming down on me when I'm running outside zone or inside zone. And at the same time, it also allows the offensive coordinator to call certain plays. And feel comfortable calling the plays as well. And that's where, some of the gun stuff comes in and the pistols. So just because, you can either read it, and even if you're not reading, you can make it look like a read to, influence the defense.
Mike Kafka, Tim Kelly, and Jackson Dart have all been asked this week about how he's going to handle Brian Flores and what they do. And obviously the onus is always on the quarterback.
Right.
But I feel like the onus is also very much on the running backs in a game like this too. They line up I watched that whole Cowboy game last week. They lined 7 or 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
They don't give any signal if they're coming or if they're not. It could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7. You don't know how many guys they're going to bring. As a running back, how much extra preparation and what is the preparation like getting ready for this Brian Flores defense where the front is always going to try to get 2 on the back or make you decide, am I blocking this guy, am I blocking that guy, and kind of put you and try to mix you up a little bit.
Yeah, I think, obviously you have to do a lot of studying. You have to do a lot of studying. I wouldn't say they give a lot of clues to what they're doing, but we have rules within our offense, within our pass game that we follow. So I think if I trust my fundamentals, and understand the rules that we're calling, whatever the quarterback is saying, whatever O-line is calling out, understanding who I got, because again, if we all work together, see everything through the same set of eyes, see everything through the same set of lenses, and understand who got who, and the quarterback understands who may come free right here. I think, and we'll be fine. I think that, like I said, they have a good defense. They blitz the most in the NFL.
Yep.
They blow the most in the NFL.
And it's not close.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not close. And it's on any given down. Whether it's first, second, or third down, they blitz a lot. So it's for me, I have to make sure that, my eyes are correct. Because they do a lot of corner blitzes, and not a lot of teams do that in the NFL. So they're one team that they do that a lot. I think last game or 2 games ago, they did blitz the corner like 7 times. So that's something I have to be ready for when I go out there on Sunday. Like I said, I think as long as we see everything through the same set of eyes, I think we'll be fine.
Just 2 quick follow-ups. One, I feel like the pass pro has been very on point this year. Just as a unit, whenever you don't see free runners, I think that the unit's coached up really well, and the players are listening and taking that coaching well.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like I said, I think Carm, he does a great job of making sure the information that we're getting is legit. He's not giving us no BS. He's not like just giving us having us chase ghosts. Oh, they might do this. He's not doing that. He's giving us stuff that they run that we're going to see on Sunday. And he understands that, like, we already have a lot on our plate, so you don't want to give us extra stuff to study when there's no need for it.
Well, if your rules are sound enough, that will then prepare you for the stuff they maybe haven't seen before, right?
Exactly, and that's really his motto is just, hey, follow our rules. Like, our rules will get us through whatever they bring. Like, and that's really the truth, because it's sometimes like they do come out and they have some mystery stunt, some mystery blitz that we haven't seen on film from them, but they have it for us, and we follow our rules. We get it blocked up, and like you said, like it's I'm not gonna say never, but it's a lot of the time is not a lot of free runners coming through. It's if someone gets beat, someone gets beat. It's football.
That happens.
But but for the most part, it's everyone's blocked up, hat on the hat, and and mano a mano, our guys versus theirs.
And then finally, can a game like this be a little frustrating for you because it takes you out of the pass game a little bit, because you have to be back there so much ready to protect, so you can't even release late for checkdowns or just get out into the flat to give Jackson an option because you're needed in pass pro so much?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, protection is first. Making sure Jackson is clean. That's number one. So I don't take that for granted. Obviously, I like catching the ball, but I'll block somebody so Slay and Wandale can catch a 70-yard bomb down the field. I'll do that 100 times out of 100. So yeah, I don't really think much of it, to be honest with you, because like I said, I know my responsibilities as a running back is pass protection first. Just like, when I'm running the ball, I want the receivers to come in there and block the safety. So
Absolutely.
that's the same thing. So I'm gonna do my job and just like, everybody else doing theirs.
Tyrone, good stuff, man.
Always, man. I
Good luck
appreciate
on
it.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Tyrone Tracy from the Hack and Sack Radio Hill podcast. You'll keep getting better. That's the Giants Huddle podcast brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. We'll see you guys on Sunday.